Hello and welcome back to Softcore History. My name is Jake Goldman, and I am joined, as always, by my two best friends and co-hosts, Rob Fox and Dan Regester. How you doing today, boys?
I'm doing fantastic.
I'm feeling great.
Yeah, feeling real good. Feeling real good this
It's a good
Sunday.
day.
It's
Good
good.
day.
It's good. What'd y'all get into this
We
weekend?
lost a lot of money this weekend. Actually.
Same.
Yeah.
I'll be paying.
Okay.
I'll be paying.
Be paying our book.
Yep.
I have not paid in or out yet. I've been riding all sorts of roller coasters with sports
You've been with
betting.
him for like 2 years.
What's up?
You've been with him for 2 years. You haven't paid him.
Oh, I've paid him twice.
Okay.
You've
never been paid.
I've never been paid out. I always have like 2 really good weeks, and then I just bleed.
It is the longest relationship in my life.
Oh.
I've been with Aaron for like 8 years.
Oh.
That's nice. Man, it's been that long, huh?
Yeah.
That's like, you guys should be like the best man in your wedding.
Never met him.
Yeah.
You don't want to. I feel like.
No. Well, I don't want to meet the guy above him.
Right.
No.
I asked a Coke dealer that once that I knew at UT. I was pretty fucked up, and we'd done a lot of Coke, and I was like, "Hey, man, is this out of
Feeling
line?"
chatty?
Yeah, I was like, "If this is out of line, you can just tell me." But
Then he shoved a gun down your throat.
yeah, and erection achieved, and I left. No, I was like, it was totally fine. It was like, dude, it's totally fine. You don't tell me this is fine, whatever. But like, okay, A, you deal blow, and B, we're in fucking Texas of all places. So tell me this.
Cartel.
If you want to, you don't have to. Tell me to shut the fuck up if you don't want to. But how many degrees of Kevin Bacon away are you from a fucking terrifying person?
What do you say?
And he's like footloose.
My name's Jeff Bacon. I'm his son. No.
He was like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
not fun.
I was like, oh, I gotta go. I was like, actually, JK, I just did more drugs.
Yeah.
But
You felt the drugs were good, I guess, because you felt confident enough to ask that question.
yeah, right.
That was probably pretty good stuff.
It is funny. Two of my friends that listen to the podcast was just at my buddy Mike Pinciotti's wedding. Shouts to him. Congratulations on getting married. And I forgot to give him the shout out like a month ago when he asked.
What's your
However-
wedding gift?
The wedding gift, well, I gave him money. I just gave him cash.
Sick.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah. It's an Italian wedding. But yeah, a lot of mob vibes.
Yep.
Did you ask his dad for a favor? Oh, wait, no, it's his son's wedding.
Yeah,
Damn.
it wasn't his
Yeah.
daughter. So
No, but you should have gone up to, I think I said this on another podcast, but you should have gone up to him and been like, hey, since your son's just a little bitch,
he's a big boy.
will you do me a favor? Because he's just
He was
a
an
little,
offensive lineman.
he's just a little, yeah, but he's like, you're like emotionally, he's a woman. So basically your daughter's getting married today, so why don't you do me a favor, you old fuck?
He does way better than we do, like in life.
I'm sure he does, but I'm just
He was in
saying, I'm just
Manhattan
trying
for
to
a
tell
while.
you how to justify it.
Doesn't like high level insurance.
I mean, you're saying he was a football player at an Ivy League school? Yeah, I'm sure he's crushing it.
Yeah, he's
Wait, where'd he play
Destroying.
O-line?
Penn.
Penn.
Soft. He probably weighs 200 pounds.
No.
It's really big.
And he's really fast.
That's the scary thing about linemen these days. It's
He
like,
could have went to. I think he got offered to like Penn State and all these like major Division I schools. He's like, nah, I'm going to Wharton.
hell yeah. That's a way better play long term.
He didn't think he could make the NFL?
I was disappointed. I wanted to kind of ride his coattails.
Yeah.
Be a part of
Actually,
his entourage.
I don't like the lack of self-confidence.
Yeah, Mike,
he
you should
bends
have
over
bet on
easy.
yourself.
Yeah.
Fool.
Was he a good hang? Is he a good hang?
He's a great hang.
Well, speaking of good hangs, we're
He's
going
one
to...
of my oldest childhood friends.
Oh,
I've known him since I was 5.
that's sweet. Well, speaking of good hangs, we're going to talk about a great hang today. One of the best hangs. Boris Yeltsin.
Oh, I thought this was gonna be like a lynching episode.
Oh, no. That would be very you.
Yeah,
That would be a you segue.
that's a me joke.
yeah.
yeah.
No.
That's the left turn.
That's the old left.
What do you think? What kind of hanging do you think I'm talking about today?
Or I guess it would be, in NASCAR sense, the right turn that Dale Earnhardt should not have made.
R.I.P. Dale.
You can never be sad for someone who died doing what they love. They peaked.
He would have won that race.
Probably not.
No.
He's washed.
I think he was kind of in the middle of the race.
Like if
Middle of
Rafa
the pack.
Nadal's heart explodes on the tennis court.
Yeah.
How do you want to go out?
Yeah. Good question.
Like, what, in the sense of the sentence, going out, doing what he loves, what does that mean for Rob Fox?
Yeah.
alcohol poisoning, I suppose.
Man, you would get along great with Boris Yeltsin.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what we're pretty much talking about today.
I mean, that's what makes me happy on most days.
Who's this? Is this an English bloke?
Boris Yeltsin?
I don't know.
No, it was the...
When did you start reading newspapers?
Never.
Boris Yeltsin was the president of Russia from 1991 to 1999.
No one learns more on this podcast than Dan.
Yeah, so...
I was born in 91, to be fair.
Yeah, we were born right around when the curtain fell.
That's fine, but Yeltsin was the president, like, when Bush took over.
Was he the one in the Pizza Hut commercials?
No.
That's Gorby.
But he was the one.
that's
You're probably
Gorbachev,
going
right?
to tell this story, so I won't spoil it, about Randall's.
Yeah, we're going to get really quickly into Randall's. But
Yeah,
we'll
no,
get-
Rob, I'm sorry. I wasn't like geopolitically locked in when I was
He was
5.
not president when Bush was president.
Yeltsin?
Yeah.
No, I meant W.
Yeah, he wasn't president when George W. Bush was president.
You mean HW?
I mean, he was president when Clinton was president. I just thought maybe they overlapped. Like, the terms overlapped a little bit.
Oh, no, he was no longer president after 1999.
Oh, so he only went to 99.
It was 91 to 99. Yeah,
Oh, okay,
he was the first popularly and freely democratically elected leader in Russian history, too. So
Yeah.
it's like crazy to think about. Like a world superpower like that, it's like the first elected free election president is 91.
Are you trying to win back over all those Russian fans that we lost
We've never lost a Russian fan.
by doing,
Russia, the bridesmaid of Europe.
yeah,
We did.
Rob's favorite episode?
I did enjoy that episode quite a bit.
We're going to get back into that kind of commentary pretty quickly, too.
Sick.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Ultimately, Yeltsin was a figure that had mixed reception on the international stage. He was considered by many to be a heroic visionary who helped bring down the USSR peacefully and took Russia into a new era.
There's something to be said about that transition being not as bloody as the other, how it started.
Yeah. No, there were many peaceful
Something
revolutions in the Soviet Union as
Oh, how
well.
the Soviet Union started?
Yeah.
A couple people died.
It's actually...
royal family seemed to make out okay. No,
No.
they weren't.
Romanovs?
In many ways, they were the lucky ones.
Well, they had that stupid child that would like bump into a table and bleed out.
Alexei?
He was a complete liability.
They all were.
Yeah, actually, the reason I'm even doing this episode is because I was watching I'm getting caught up on The Crown.
Yeah.
It is a good, like, historical period piece show if you kind of want the inside baseball of the royal family. But they kind of they're doing a lot of history jumps this year.
Okay.
So they're in, like, the Diana times, but they also go back to show, like, the deeper historical context of, like, why this fucking shit is important to the royal family. So one of the things that comes up is Boris Yeltsin, who's like this newly elected leader, is trying to like make good with the Western world, and he shows up to Windsor Castle to be received by the Queen.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, like you need to come to Russia so we can make everything look good. And she's like, yeah, about that. I don't know if you're aware, you destroyed, I believe it's called Ipatiev House, which is where the Romanovs were killed
Nailed it.
by Stalin's dudes.
Yeah.
So,
That'd be Lenin at that
Yeah,
point.
or Lenin,
Stalin.
yeah, not Stalin, Lenin. But
Stalin was more at that point probably just kind of like a goon.
He was like, he had a rank in the party, but I don't know how high. I mean, he wasn't like a foot soldier, but he was like a lieutenant probably.
He didn't have a rise like El Chapo,
No, yeah.
not quite.
where he was just kind of like essentially just a thug.
It's the vacuum guy.
I think Stalin was always weirdly like, he kind of looks like he's, could throw down, but I don't think he ever did.
He's 5'5".
It's Russia in a nutshell.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
He's riding off that one photo.
That one hot
His
photo,
handsome boy photo.
He's a hot boy in that
which
photo.
by the way,
But he doesn't look like that. That's just a really good photo.
Yeah.
And you can ride a really good photo.
a long way.
Yeah. Especially back then.
Oh, for sure. That's like just the photo people know you by.
Like that's his only dating profile photo.
Ever.
What do you think he was packing?
Stalin, 4.
4. Think 4.
A hard 4.
Hard 4. Stiff 4.
I think it was like 5, but like not thick.
The proportional 5.
Yeah.
Well, girth's more important.
Girth is more, well, to an extent.
That's a lie chicks tell you, bro.
You don't want a tuna can.
Chicks
You
love
you
Twizzlers,
do want
bro.
a tuna can that they can just kind of rub up on.
So you they want to rub on your giant clit with their normal size clit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scissoring.
That's all right.
Yeah. But anyway, so besides the Stalin dick talk, Yeltsin was.
How many diseases do you think Stalin had on said penis?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't think a lot.
What do you think his body count was? How many guys and gals?
Would it shock you if I told you it was higher than his kill count?
His fuck count?
He has two different body counts. You got to remember this.
No, we'll add them both together.
One
his
side's
total?
doing the heavy lifting.
Oh, it's 11,300,000.
Man, he's really just boosting that
Yeah.
body count with one side of that, the violent side.
I'm sure. I mean, Putin fucking has prostos and
Oh,
that's actually the saddest thing that about Putin is not saddest thing about Putin, but like it just bums me out. When I read this, it bummed me out.
Putin or Stalin?
Putin.
Oh.
Is that like he bangs a lot of like ex ballerinas,
yeah.
but like they're ex ballerinas,
So they got all fucked up feet.
but that's just the only thing they can do.
Is bone Vladimir Putin?
Yeah.
Oof. You saw the news clip recently, right? That he fell down
Shit
the stairs
his
and shit himself.
Well, he's also the greatest hockey player ever.
Yeah.
Oh, he crushed. He crushed
Ovechkin,
this dude.
Ovechkin's got no answers for him.
Can you imagine, like, oh God, just being like a very good anything, and then like a insecure fucking leader comes in, and it's like you gotta lay down, bro. I guess you don't care.
How did the news get out that he shit his pants?
That's what I want to know.
Well,
That person's dead.
so obviously, there's a certain amount of like, was that even real? But one of the main things I've read
it
about
was a trusted source, the New York Post.
right. One of the main things I've read about how the U.S. intelligence is doing so well against Russia compared to like how bad they did in Afghanistan or something like that is they're just like, this is what the entire U.S. intelligence apparatus was trained to do, spy on Russia.
Yeah.
Like we have that country so infiltrated. It's almost like there used to be a joke that like 1 out of every 4 Klan members was in the FBI.
Oh yeah.
Because the FBI is just so fucking fully infiltrated the Klan.
Klan meetings for FBI meetings. On the side. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's the same thing in Russia. It's just like every other fucking dude is an asset to either the U.S. or the British.
Well, one thing to consider too during the Cold War is like, what side's paying better? That's like, well,
considering only one side had money.
Yeah. Like, it's really hard. It's like, hey, man, do this spy for your country, but don't listen to the other spies that have more money because they'll pay you and you'll live way better than our shithole.
And then if they want to get rid of you, they just burn your file.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so anyway, Yeltsin is like, yeah, come over. And she's like, yeah, Yeltsin particularly ordered, I believe, the knocking down of the house that the Romanov family was murdered in. She's like, yeah, my cousins didn't have a dignified burial, and you need to fix that. And they did when the queen asked. Like they were like, yeah, we'll do it. We'll
Why
figure it
not?
out.
Yeah.
But for a little backstory on that, the Romanovs were trying to escape the communist revolution. They were definitely targeted by the working force, and King George at the time was cousins with.
They were all cousins.
They were all cousins.
If you've watched The King's Man, you would know this.
Yeah. And it got me thinking, too. Well, George was like, no.
They couldn't have him over, no.
No, because the wife, I believe the Tsarina, was very pro-Germany, who England was at war with. Well, there was already a people's revolt kind of happening. They were trying to quash.
In England?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, they were having their own fucking problems.
Yeah, it's like, man, you fucked that up.
Yeah.
You got to deal with it. We're trying to have that not happen here.
It's very interesting. So, like, I feel like the Parliament had really taken over, I think, after, like, King George III. Mm-hmm. They got more power. George III is the one that the American Revolution was against. I could be totally wrong with this. But then Victoria kind of not grabbed power back, but kind of just, I don't know, became looked to a little more.
Sure.
And then George, whatever he was, the 4th maybe.
I think it was the 3rd. I could be wrong, though.
Oh, no, maybe King George I is the one the revolution was against, and King George III was World War I.
3rd was World War I.
Okay, so
pretty sure.
Yeah. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah, who cares? They're numbers.
Anyway, Victoria had a good amount of power, or at least a good amount of clout.
Yeah.
And
she didn't relinquish power either.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people thought she should have abdicated and let her son take over for like a more modern monarchy.
Yep.
And that reflects itself into the 1900s with Charles and Elizabeth.
But after World War I, over.
Yeah.
The king was... the end of World War I was essentially the point where the monarchy became full-on, no bullshit figurehead.
Yeah, totally. It's interesting, though. Yeah, so I was watching that, and I was like, man, the other really notable thing about Boris Yeltsin that they talk about is John Major, who was the PM of Britain at the time, was like, yeah, I went there to talk to him, and he was drunk the entire time I was with him. And
okay, I know who this guy is.
Yeah.
Functionally
drunk.
Yeah, this guy's a functional alcoholic. In fact, the only way he's not functional is if he's not drinking.
People argue with that, but anyway.
So, I mean, we'll get to this, but he is he makes some American visits, right?
Yes. Oh, yes. And they're great.
Okay, so I'm familiar with this.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. So we're gonna get into a lot
of
his...
rattle the cage.
You know him from his shenanigans. You don't know him from his status as a world leader
or his name.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, a lot of people think he was a heroic visionary, like we talked about, but also a chaotic and ineffective alcoholic that would never be able to actually get them to the vision that he saw.
Yeah, I mean, he led directly to Putin, so...
Yep. We'll get to that, too.
Yeah. Putin was his literal successor.
Yeah. Yeah, he picked him.
Yeah.
Kind of. It was a weird musical chair. So we might do an episode on how Putin became powerful. It would be pretty interesting. There's a lot of shenanigans in that, too.
We can do 9/11 now.
We can do 9/11.
It's our 20-year rule.
Why?
What are we
We're just going to do a Where Were You episode.
Where were you?
Fifth grade.
Where were you?
They rolled in a TV.
They did not
I saw
show
the
us
second
TV.
tower get hit live.
I saw the second tower. I saw the towers collapse live.
Every
I didn't see any hits
kid
live.
except myself and one other kid got to their parents came and picked them up.
You had to stick around.
I had to stay.
Yeah, I got yelled at for putting the flag at full staff because no one had told us as kids. So I was part of the flag kids that had to put the flag up.
There were flag kids?
It was a private school. Every kid, it alternated weeks, but every kid had to go put the flag up in 5th grade, basically. Anyway, the teacher started yelling at me, put it at half staff. And I'm like, why? Because no one was telling us.
What does half staff mean? No,
half-mast.
I know, when you're in 5th grade.
Right.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah. I was like, what the fuck are you why would I fly it halfway up? I get yelled at if it's not all the way up anyway. And she's like, don't ask questions, just do what I say. I was like, this is even more terrifying.
Yeah.
What is happening? But yeah. Anyway, Yeltsin was born in 1932. His grandfather was accused of being a kulak, which is a wealthy peasant during Stalin's purges. So the family...
That's hilarious.
The family's
a peasant who's...
too rich.
Well, what is it? Climbing the social ladder, essentially?
Yeah.
A peasant who's upwardly mobile
Yeah.
is a traitor to other peasants.
Yes, exactly.
In case you ever want to know what...
It's kind of like the Uncle Tom of
it's
Soviet Russia.
It's economic Uncle Tom.
Yeah, right, exactly.
You're an asshole if you don't stay poor.
So yeah, Stalin pretty much confiscated all of his family's lands, and they were moved to Siberia. So yeah,
New land.
They were forced into a collective farm, basically, for being too, good at figuring out how to work in a system that wasn't for them. What a great call.
Interesting that you would punish someone for being innovative and motivated.
But you know what? Yeltsin was, much like his family, he looked pretty innovative and,
motivated,
curious,
yeah.
I guess you'd say. He was also a bit of a prankster. So while he was in secondary school, Yeltsin was an accident.
In Siberia?
I don't think he was in Siberia at this point. I think they get out.
Just goofing in Siberia?
Yeah. Just goofing at the gulag, But
no one played pranks at a concentration camp like Roberto Benigni's character. It's a beautiful life. La Vita Bella.
I haven't seen that movie actually.
Here's a whoopee cushion.
Actually, we need to watch that movie for this
a little rewatch
Patreon for our Patreon. Patreon.com/subscribe. So it was heavily lauded at the time. It's a late '90s movie, like Saving Private Ryan and Schindler's List was mid '90s, but the whole World War II era really got the peak of World War II era cinema was essentially probably Schindler's List to the Pacific, right? So 1994 to 2008 or whatever. And Life is Beautiful is one of them. but it was by this fucking Italian comedian. It's a Holocaust movie by this Italian comedian, Roberto Benigni. And like it literally is a slapstick comedy at a concentration camp that was nominated for like every Academy Award.
Ahead of its time. Yes.
We need to watch that.
That sounds good.
That and Apocalypto.
I would like to
You
see
have to see Apocalypto.
Yeah, I would like
And
to
of
see
course,
that as well.
King's Man.
Yes.
Yeah, and the Kingsman.
Golden Circle.
Yeah, so he was a bit of a prankster, though. He's a little rascal. One prank backfired spectacularly when the grenade he was playing with at school exploded, taking off his thumb and index finger.
Was this a Halloween prank?
Wait, hold on. Before we get back to him losing his thumb and index finger, remember when that almost happened to you here?
Yeah, I picked up the flashbang or the smoke bomb.
Smoke grenade.
Yeah, it's on that desk. I'm looking at it right now.
It terrifies me.
You were
now.
like, oh, what is this? And we were like, that's live, that's live.
I thought it was a prop, and the emotion.
Nothing here is a prop.
My first thought was to just like throw it away, but then I had a secondary instinctual reaction,
Calm.
which was set down.
Yeah.
Like nothing's a prop. Like that Helen Keller doll right there.
That's a real person,
It's
huh?
a sex doll.
It's a real person in a box.
It's a real thing you can fuck.
I mean, you can fuck anything with
Yeah,
the right
everything
attitude.
is a real thing you can fuck.
This is a real camera
You can fuck.
That you can fuck.
that I can fuck.
Yeah.
Why do you think mics are so phallic?
So you can fuck.
Just shoes a real shoe.
Well, according to Kanye, Hitler designed this.
Hitler did invent the microphone, yes.
Oh, man. I loved, best tweet of that was, I'm running for president. I love Hitler. My wife cheats on me.
Well, he didn't
night.
have a wife.
No, I mean, my wife cheated on me so much. It's like, yeah, that's going to get you some votes, man.
Well,
He will get votes. He will.
I mean, I assume Trump's been cheated on many a time. I don't think,
Constantly.
yeah. Like, I just assume Melania has a fucking pool boy that she's getting dicked down by.
Secret
for
Service agent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now it's Secret Service agent. She got the upgrade.
But yeah.
Can you
think
imagine
the
being the
pool
one
boy-
lucky Secret Service agent that doesn't have to pay for prostitutes?
Or the
You
pool
just fuck
boy.
Melania.
The pool boy that got upgraded to Secret Service agent.
Wait,
She
was
got
that a
him
real
a job.
That was a real guy?
No, I'm just saying, maybe.
Oh, wasn't there like a trainer or something for a minute that was in the news with her? Anyway, it's not important.
No,
That's just-
Marjorie Taylor Greene was fucking her trainer.
That's right.
It was a complete hunk.
He looks like
He's not,
He
but-
looked like Zangief from Street Fighter.
He does. No, he actually, that was his Halloween costume.
Yeah. He shaved his
He shaved the
chest
triangle
hair.
into his chest.
Oh, that's
which
amazing.
is actually respect.
Yeah, that's play your part.
Yeah.
You know, play what you know.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And he wears like bright gold, glittered up joggers,
I'm sorry.
And he's a CrossFit trainer, I believe.
I have to look this
which
up.
I can't approve of. But
Have you done CrossFit?
no,
So one time I was at a
I don't want to.
Kentucky Derby party here in Austin at a bar, and they were having like a best dress competition, and I was one of only two people in a seersucker suit. I owned a seersucker suit because I had been to the actual Kentucky Derby, and I was like, whatever, I'll put it on. And I was wearing a bow tie as well. Yeah.
That's humble brag.
I just found Zangief. That's amazing.
Yep. So anyway, they give me second place. Someone was way better dressed than me, got first place. But they gave me second place just for literally for the fact of wearing a seersucker suit.
out of two.
And my second place award was free CrossFit classes.
Ugh.
I
Now-
did not.
Where was this Camp Gladiator?
It was somewhere in Central Austin. That's
Have
all
you
I know.
ever applied for a job there, by the way?
No, are you familiar with it though?
I'm not, but I
It's-
see them have job postings all the time.
It's a religious gym.
Oh, that's why they never
CrossFit is a religion.
No, but like it has a Christian
Oh, sick. Yeah.
undertone. Like you have to have.
I just keep thinking of righteous gemstones where they have the cross they have to carry.
My favorite one I've ever seen is the naked gay Spartan CrossFit gym, where it's just a bunch of jack dudes naked doing pull-ups and shit.
There's a real one?
Yeah.
I just remember
Where?
the personal
I
trainer.
saw it on the internet. I was doing some Google searches pretty late at night.
The personal trainer I was dating in 2016, Kelly. She worked at Camp Gladiator for about like 2 weeks, but she eventually quit because they kept slut shaming her.
Oh, hold on. By the way, but Jesus
It's
Christ.
awful.
Hold on. Let's just talk about something with that. And it is actually history related. The Christian gym was called Camp Gladiator. Christians were literally executed in the Colosseum.
By Gladiator.
By Gladiator.
And they're saying where gladiators fought for, like, I think at least 100 years.
Well, at least I guess they got to be gladiators for a day.
Did they? I don't think they were
Make-A-Wish
armed.
ever.
They were. A lot of them were just fed to animals. Camp Gladiator. Good Lord.
It's very historically tone deaf.
Getting eaten by a tiger.
It's historically illiterate.
Yeah.
Be like me trying to read hieroglyphs as those people reading history. I'm trying to even think of an analogy, and
There
I
isn't
can't
one,
because
yeah.
I've fucking had like 2 cups of tequila. But like, god damn it. What? You literally named it after the... It's
Yeah, it's rough.
insane.
It's rough. Anyway, Yeltsin, he becomes, party member, starts working his way up. He's very loved. He's very
So he's a
boisterous.
Communist Party member.
Yeah, for sure.
You have to be.
Yeah. But eventually gets to a point where, Gorbachev is kind of opening things up.
Yeah. They realize that their economy can't fucking survive on nothing, whatever the fuck their economy even was.
It's not good, is what it is. Like, no one's enjoying it. Yeltsin eventually gets elected in 91, and a lot of it is because he started bringing over ideas about the way the world should work and how Russia should work because of a trip in 1989 to Clear Lake, Texas, to fucking Houston, essentially.
Yeah.
So in
And by the way, if you want to see somewhere where even the mediocre suburbs are extravagant in ways that are just bizarre to you,
Houston.
Houston is the place to go.
and it's also
Very spread
zoned
out.
right next to a fucking, the worst part of Houston, too.
Because there's no zoning laws.
Yeah.
You can literally build a strip club next to a fucking grade school.
So there's, a very affluent...
So if you're a groomer with a lot of money and you want more heterosexual children in the world, build a strip club next to a grade school.
To counteract all the cross-dressing shows.
Yes.
Gotta
Every
break
time-
these
every-
kids up.
Every time you read about a fucking drag queen story hour, you go to Houston and you build a strip club next to it.
You see a drag
That's
queen.
why it's one of the best strip club cities in the country.
It's a very good strip
You
club
see
city.
a drag queen brunch, you best take them to a strip club lunch.
Yeah, well, Hooters is fine too.
Well, yeah.
Not
according-
alpha enough.
No, that's pretty alpha according to
Nick, whatever.
But that guy's
Nick
that
Adams?
guy's a,
Yeah,
that
Nick
guy's a,
Adams.
that guy's a bit though.
He is. Yeah.
But he didn't reveal it for a long time.
He's starting to now. Has he ever revealed it though? I
Not
feel
really.
he's just revealing it with
He's
what
just
he's
gets more
doing.
ridiculous.
He's being more transparent now.
Yeah.
But for the longest time, I think people literally took him seriously.
Some people
do.
liked it, which is the funniest part. But yeah, so in 1989, Boris Yeltsin has a wide-eyed trip to Clear Lake grocery store.
What the fuck's he doing in Houston, by the way?
So Yeltsin, then newly elected to the new Soviet parliament, had just visited. He was visiting the Johnson Space Center.
Yeah, I was going to say
Okay.
NASA.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, Yeltsin visited mission control and a mock-up of a space station, according to Houston Chronicle. But it wasn't like all the screens and the dials and the NASA stuff that blew him away.
It wasn't that we got to the moon or our
yeah.
way better shuttles.
So what's currently going on at the International Space Station?
With scientists don't give a fuck.
But Americans and Russians, they're
They
both
don't
up
care.
there right now.
No,
Do
they're
most-
happy to be away from it.
And by the way, those are some of the smartest Russians in the entire country of Russia.
Do you think?
I think they're pretty. I think those guys are pretty clear-eyed about how dumbass the invasion of Ukraine is.
Yeah, they're sitting up there doing the thing that most nerds dream of, which is to get away from all the dumb macho bullshit down here and just do science experiments up
Yeah.
there. It's the perfect system. They're not giving
Well,
a
because
shit.
their bones are getting brittle.
Hear me out.
Yeah, they're not
space.
throwing hands up there.
There are no nations in space until we all get to space and have space wars.
Yeah, Space Wars are coming.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I hope I'm alive for them.
Yeah, for sure. I was thinking about this actually too. Speaking of the crown, I might see a fourth monarch in my lifetime, because I'm definitely going to see a third. Elizabeth, Charles.
Yeah, you'll see a third. Well,
I'll see the.
let's not say definitely.
Nothing's certain.
Let's get Harry up there.
It's a really tough turn out of this studio.
It is. If there's one
and
thing
it's
that'll
raining
do-
tonight.
Yeah, not good.
We
But
might get Diana'd.
I'm younger than Harry, so there's a chance I can see his kid become a king as well, and that's mind blowing.
Not Harry.
Or not Harry, the other one. Who's the oldest?
I don't remember.
Who cares? The oldest one,
The bald
his
one.
kid.
The one who
bald
just said hi
one.
to Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
I was
So,
going to say, do you think Diana was taken out?
I think maybe
Nah.
they were bugging her, dude. They have like intelligence services bugging her.
Queen wasn't happy with her.
Yeah. But that's not a show. This is not a show about that.
Was it the Mossad?
What was Dodi Fayed into? We don't know.
No one knows. So anyway, they had to stop at a Randall's in Houston during the trip, and this blew Boris Yeltsin's fucking mind.
His walk into Randall's.
Did he get a rotis?
He got a lot. He got a lot of stuff. That wasn't his favorite thing, though. So he roamed the aisles of Randall's, nodding his head in amazement. He told his fellow Russians and his entourage that if their people, who often must wait in line for most goods, saw the conditions of U.S. supermarkets, there would be an immediate revolution. 2 years later, it happened. So I'm sure they started seeing this shit.
Someone got pictures of Randall's.
Yeah.
And by the way, just to be clear, if you're not from Texas, Randall's isn't a good grocery store.
It's not like going to Whole Foods.
Or even H-E-B.
No, but aren't you the one that rode for Randall's?
I ride for certain things from Randall's.
You ride for flagship Randall's and Rolling.
You ride for like their fried chicken, don't you?
Randall's has incredible fried chicken.
What?
Good sandwiches.
And they have if you go to a Randall's that has a deli that will make you sandwiches, their sandwiches are fucking. When we worked at TFM, the flagship Randall's that in Westlake or whatever, fuck yeah, dude, those sandwiches were dope. However, their general selection in the grocery store is
dog shit. Yeah,
pretty dog shit compared to fucking H-E-B or Whole Foods.
That's like Safeway. It's like a Safeway.
Everything's expensive unless you're a member, and it's kind of like
the membership.
Now the membership's for everybody. You get the membership discount no matter what.
Because there's a bunch of Randalls that are going out of business.
Yeah.
Which is like, but grocery stores can have sales.
But here's the thing, by the way. Here's why I like Randall's. Because I used to live, before I moved out to Dripping Springs, I used to live literally like equidistant from an H-E-B and a Randall's.
What, Westlake?
Circle C.
Circle C. Okay.
So the Randall's was on Brody. The H-E-B was like at Mopac or whatever. Anyway, essentially, if I needed something good of quality, I would go to H-E-B. However, if I didn't want the hassle and I just needed something quick,
you want to treat your body like a dumpster.
go to Randall's.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're gonna I just need flour.
I just need like a 6-pack of beer.
Yeah.
I'm not like, I don't ride for any grocery store really.
I like Publix a lot, but
it's nice.
Yeah.
I just want like a decent selection. Yeah, I know. I want the prices to not be outrageous.
I'd say I do like Publix because their store brand shit's really good too.
Hot Meals.
Hot Meals are good. It's
good.
Truly a solid choice for a grocery store, but it's all territorial pissings. Like, I mean, it's just like fucking burger chains in different places.
But like,
Schnucks till I die.
Schnucks is great.
I
like
never really
Schnucks.
felt that because you know what we had in like Delco? Acme.
Yeah.
You ever go to an Acme?
No, I thought Wile E. Coyote went to those. That's where he gets his dynamite.
I wish.
It's not even that cool.
It's terrible.
Schnucks is where we went on your bachelor party, right?
Yeah, we went to grab beer on the way to Columbia, yeah.
Yeah, that place was dope. I feel like Boris Yeltsin whenever I go into a grocery store in Missouri because I'm like, how do you have all this liquor here?
Yeah, that's the main thing about going to a grocery store in St. Louis in particular is that there is a whole liquor section.
And it's big.
Yeah,
it's like a Specs inside of a grocery store.
It fucking is. It's glorious.
We have, I guess, Blue Law or whatever, and we just can't sell liquor in the same vicinity as
it's dumb.
Food.
We also have beer distributors because they can't sell beer in a grocery store.
Yeah, fuck Pennsylvania's liquor
Although
laws,
I think
man.
that might have changed.
I don't know. I had to go to a package store when I was up in Philly for a wedding, and that sucked. It was not a good selection. It was messy. They literally had boxes just like broken down in the floor. Like they didn't care about cleaning. Total joke. Anyway, Yeltsin asks customers at Randall's what they were buying and how much it cost, later asking the store manager if they needed a special education to manage a store. He just couldn't believe the efficiency it was run with, how well stocked it was. He thought it was like a miracle.
What's weird to me that the guy who got sent to Siberia because his dad was too hardworking and innovative.
Yeah.
Was like, how does this country do it?
Pretty much.
What?
In the Chronicle photos that are out there, you can see him marveling at the produce section. He's like just wide-eyed at the fish market.
Just shitting his pants at how many fish are in the fucking ice.
Actually, another story, when one of the delegates' wives went out grocery shopping. I think this is a different visit and different politicians, but she went out with the wives of other U.S. like diplomats and stuff to the grocery store. She stacked her cart with meat. She's like, oh, we're so lucky we got here on meat day and no one's gotten it all yet. They're like, what are you doing? She's like, What do you mean?
It's meat day.
We hit the fucking lottery. No one's taken the meat yet.
God.
And like she stacked the cart. She spent hundreds of dollars on meat because she just like, that's what their brain was like. Oh, there will not be more of this. Let's get it now.
So fucking.
I mean, we are so lucky.
Oh, it's insane.
To be able to go to a grocery store.
Get whatever you want from halfway across the fucking world. It makes me want to scream. All these people that are just like capitalism. Like,
No,
what?
it works. It fucking works.
It's dope.
It's fucking insane. Just you've grown up in a time that is unfathomable to the rest of human history. Like it is. Think about.
You know how weird it was when like there wasn't toilet paper? Imagine that with most food.
During COVID, when we had like supply chain issues and everything, and we're just like, we didn't have enough like frozen food for one day.
Someone from like a certain country, maybe even today, going into an American grocery store would be like an American, I don't know, being on a spaceship. They'd be like, when did humans do this?
Yeah.
When did we get to this point?
That said, though, it would be so easy to take us out.
Who? Oh, because we're soft bitches?
Country. If you just turn the power off in any decently sized city in America for
Well, we lived that.
48 hours.
Listen to our greatest episode.
The one where we lived history.
Three
yes.
heroes lived through the freeze.
Yeah. I took in a refugee.
Me too.
Dan.
But it wasn't as bad because people weren't on the roads.
That's true.
Because they couldn't get on the roads because the roads weren't cleared.
Because no one had a snowplow here. Not one.
The city has $1 billion budget and they couldn't spend $300,000 on
Put a
plows.
fucking incline, like an iron sheet.
We're not rehashing this, guys.
Okay, yeah. Anyway.
People hate
But no, hold on. Just in general though, like, oh my God. Like, and this is our number one competitor in the world.
We were kicking their asses.
And they go to our bitch, not even like our B tier grocery stores, and they're like, "Are you gods?"
Who has this luxury?
Yeah.
Have you shopped in other countries, like especially South or Central America?
No, not really.
Man, it's a tough scene.
Going to fucking Mexican markets here is rough.
I remember being
Like the mini marts.
Yeah, the ones
but
attached to, like, gas stations.
ones that people clearly grocery shop in.
Oh yeah, dude.
you're
you can
going
get
to
cheap
like
produce.
the egg section in Costa Rica, and they're just not refrigerated.
Well, you don't have to refrigerate.
Yeah, it's
No, but they're just kind of sitting out. And they're
That's-
you
I mean,
only have to refrigerate it if you wash them.
Yeah, and we do. A lot of countries don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's actually a weird choice by us. We could easily.
we do a lot of weird shit.
Yeah.
but they're just gonna bake it in the sun.
It doesn't. It's fine.
I know.
Worst case scenario, it hatches.
And
You get a chicken.
You get a chicken. Congratulations.
You get chicken veal.
You leveled up. Anyway, the
That's
thing
true,
that
eggs suck.
eggs are great. I love eggs.
I eat eggs, but I don't enjoy eggs.
Oh,
I agree with you that eggs suck only in so much as, and I've said this before on like Twitter, the breakfast taco situation here, the egg to other ingredient ratio,
Too high.
it's getting out of control.
It's all
because
egg.
eggs are cheap.
Yeah, I don't order
It's essentially
egg
a
and
frittata.
chorizo and cheese to get 90% fucking egg.
With like a little peppering of chorizo. Yeah, it's trash.
It is fucking infuriating.
Yeah, even like if you get just like sometimes I just
Right.
want an egg and cheese taco, like something simple with some melty cheese
They're
and
so
an egg.
good for gains, you know.
Oh, for
Are
sure.
they?
Eggs? The best.
Eggs are the best for gains.
It's like super healthy fat, great protein. It's amazing.
Best way to start your morning.
Yeah, you can like eggs are also really easy to eat with the amount of protein that's in them. So like you can slam like 7 eggs, not that hard if you're really trying to pack it on.
Breakfast burrito. Let's go.
Yeah, man, for sure. His favorite thing was not anything you named though. Frozen pudding pops. Yeltsin was a big pudding pop guy.
Was he a big Cosby guy?
Oh no, I didn't know. It's the weird ways our histories overlap, huh?
Cosby touches a lot of history.
I believe.
Well, he touches a lot of things in general.
He touches things.
I mean, look. Do I think that Boris Yeltsin has had intercourse where at least one party has been unconscious? Yes.
we'll get to that.
But I think he was probably the one that was unconscious. Or
Yeah, that's definitely
I
true.
thought you were spitting on a dead man's grave.
No, we're gonna get to some
boner stories
about
about Boris.
a little bit. Quote, Boris, even the Politburo doesn't have this choice, not even Mr. Gorbachev. When he was told through his interpreter that there were thousands of items in the store for sale, he didn't believe it.
For sale.
Yeah. He had even thought that the store was staged, a show for him. Little did he
Like
know.
North Korea.
Yeah. No, so like it was common in Russia too, like when they have people over, they stage shit like this to make it look like it was fine because it wasn't. So
And again, Randall sucks.
Yeah.
Randall sucks.
Blew
ass.
his mind. Yeah.
Blew his mind. The thing that fucking blew his mind the most, free cheese samples. He was like, what do you mean? You're just giving it to me?
Couldn't get
I
enough.
don't have to pay for the cheese? Like, isn't that amazing? Like, shit.
Just an
we
old
don't- I
woman
don't-
at her stand.
Right.
Like, shit, I look down, it's like, fucking block cheddar? No, I know what that tastes like, idiot.
Capitalism, man.
Yeah, no. It's like, give me some
Suck my
prepared
dick.
samples, lady.
Fucking
you better
take it.
No, we have like chefs cooking samples and doing instructions on
There's
it. at
that
groceries.
HEB at fucking, like I said, Mopac
Yeah.
and Slaughter. They have a whole kitchen in the middle of the store where
just
there's
smells like
fucking
cooking food.
shit for you to eat for free. And they're like, if you'd like, take this coupon to get money off of the high-end shit we
The
just
thing
gave.
we just fed you. Yeah. It's,
And by the way,
kind of give you like a cooking class. So
there are so
teach you
many
what to do
people in
with it.
America that would look down on you, you poor piece of shit, for taking that coupon and that free sample. Like you're just some piece of middle-class shit taking that.
yeah, for sure. You're taking a handout. What are you doing?
Capitalism, I hate it.
So he was even more blown away when
can't.
the translator pretty much told him, hey, there's these things all over the place, and this isn't even a good one. Like, they had to explain to him that this wasn't the best one.
Shitty one.
We're like,
So they went
yeah.
to an HEB.
If he went to, goddamn, he'd have an aneurysm.
So about a year.
He's by the way, if Texas allowed liquor sales in grocery stores, he would have died of coming right there.
Oh,
in the
for sure.
grocery store because he would just drink on.
Yeah.
He would
his
live
car.
at the grocery store. He would have never left that Randall's. I almost guarantee you, if they had vodka in there, he would have died in that store.
Oh yeah.
So after
Well,
about
that's the move, right? In like
die doing what you love.
in a zombie movie or like a post-apocalyptic movie, just live in a grocery store.
But it's also the easiest hit.
It
too.
did. Like if it wasn't for the religious lady, those people in the mist would have been fine.
Yeah.
I haven't seen The Mist in so long. I need to rewatch that.
It's got a great ending.
But yeah, I mean, you are a target. Like people are gonna go for you.
Yeah, it's like living at the gold mine, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just depends. So if it's like if you have enough people, you're fine, right? But if it's like just three of you trying to hold down a grocery, you're just literally not going to.
Right.
Yeah.
It's too big.
So about a year after the Russian leader left, a Yeltsin biographer later wrote that on a plane ride to Yeltsin's next destination, Miami, he was despondent. He couldn't stop thinking about the plentiful food at the grocery store and what his countrymen had to subsist on in Russia. Quote, Boris Yeltsin, when I saw those shelves crammed with hundreds, thousands of cans, cartons, and goods of every possible sort, for the first time I felt, quite frankly, sick with despair for the Soviet people. That such a potentially super rich country as ours has been brought to a state of such poverty, it is terrible to think of it. And this is kind of where the inklings come of him to be able to bring these more modern ideas of capitalism to the Soviet Union, what leads him getting elected.
This is not a new thing. We talked about this in the Russia bridesmaid episode. When they lost the Crimean War, one of the things that I think it was the prince said, because it was still a czar's country back then, he was like, we lost mostly because our bureaucracy is dog shit. Right?
Yeah.
Like their organization is dog, and the reason the Soviet Union lost the Cold War, aside from having a fucking backwards, useless economic system that is fucking awful, and they bankrupted themselves essentially. But like also in that same thing, like, or I guess this is the same. This is in the same vein, but they say with warfare, like tactics are for amateurs, logistics are amateurs study tactics. Professionals study logistics.
You're
right?
a dork if you're studying the playbook.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing, like where you can't, you're never going to win a war. Like you can't win a war ideologically, right? Ideology is tactics. You can fucking spout about your virtues and whatever the fuck else. But if this guy is actually, if your other opponent is actually making life measurably better for people on the ground,
Yeah.
no one gets going to give a shit about what you believe or feel.
No.
Right.
Because guess what? Like, oh, everyone's equal. We're gonna make everyone equal. We're the right party. And then the other side's like, hey, you can buy whatever you want here, and it's cheap.
Yeah.
Cheaper than in the country that says.
Plus, it's easy. You just run Engage 8. Just blitz everybody.
I agree with that.
Yes, it's true. Yeah, but I mean, it's like, hey, even like not well-off people go to this thing, and get whatever they need or can afford. It's not like because like that's another thing too. There were people with money that could not have these things. Like even rich people in Russia could not get the food they wanted,
or at least that selection of shit.
There's no variety. Yeah, it's just you get what you get. So
obviously, like the fucking rich lady, the rich diplomat's wife, who's like, oh, it's meat day.
Yeah. It's like
that is an upper class woman,
right? Yeah, it's insane. Another one too, just another one I read about during all this was like, I forget who it was. It might have been like an agent or something like that. Was doing some America work, and he thought he was getting like really good canned food, and it was delicious. He was eating cat food, and he was like, "Oh my god, this is what they feed their animals! Like it's better than what we get." It's better. Like Fancy Feast is good, dude. And he like goes back to Russia like with some Fancy Feast, and it's like all my boys say this shit's the best. It's like it's insane.
Capitalism. Like I can't. I just fucking can't. Man.
Well, we got to get into more drinking stories. So.
Obviously, that's what we need. Speaking of which, I'm gonna get up and get a beer. You keep talking.
I'll keep going. So Boris was always a big drinker. Obviously, it's the culture. But his visits to the United States before taking power and like seeing the rest of the world really didn't help him. They led to the development of a habit that served as a crutch for the pressures of turning around a deeply troubled country. Again in 1989, Yeltsin had to account to the Supreme Soviet Court how he had ended up at a police post outside of Moscow, dripping wet and wearing only his underwear. He said he had been attacked, his head covered in a sack, and he was dumped off a bridge into a river. That didn't happen. It was later determined that he was likely drunk, trying to take his shirt off on a walk home from banging his mistress, and fell off the bridge.
But he had the shirt around his head.
Yeah.
So it was like a bag.
Yeah, it was
in
like
his
a bag.
Eyes.
Yeah. No, homeboy was banging some other lady, stepped out for a minute, got hammered in the process of it, and fell off a bridge.
Yep.
And kind of hockey sweatered himself.
Yeah, exactly.
He fought himself on the ice.
I mean, I guess I wouldn't put it past the Soviets to try and off him that way, though, too, as like a little bit of a wild card. Because like the hardliners did not like this guy.
He feels easy to kill, to be quite honest.
Yeah. And
somebody this easy to kill, though, is usually hard to kill.
That's true. It's just, it's the
Mr. Mike Malloy. You can't poison him.
Yeah.
Mike Malloy will tell you. I mean, you can't hit him with a car either.
An easier mark than Mike Malloy.
I don't know who it was. If it wasn't him.
Timothy Dexter, but all his markings got him rich.
If someone had put a bullet in Timothy Dexter's heart, he would have become immortal. Based on his luck, like he would have become a god.
Yeah. Just Mr. fucking Plutonium or whatever from Watchmen.
Yeah.
He just gets,
just Tony Stark.
Yeah, he is Iron Man.
No, he would have become the one you're talking about from the blue guy. What's his? I don't know. It doesn't matter. But he just would have become like all knowing. Yeah.
Dude that's
Dr. Manhattan.
Dr. Manhattan. Yeah.
Goes like Mars and shit.
Yeah.
Mr. Plutonium is what I called him. Yeah, Dr. Manhattan. So once in office and the Soviet Union's fallen, and it's now 15 states, Yeltsin's antics attracted worldwide television attention. In 1992, he played the spoons on the head of Askar Akayev, the president of ex-Soviet Kyrgyzstan. So at a meeting with a former Soviet state where they're trying to, hey, sorry about all that. We're smoothing it over. Let's have good relations. He's drunk as shit and just starts playing the spoons on a bald guy's head who happens to be the leader of that country.
Okay, that's sick.
Yeah.
It's much better than what I thought. He was just playing Spoon.
No.
Yeah, like he was spooning around a wine glass. Like, listen to the
No,
sound.
the band Spoon.
Oh.
It's not good either.
Oh, you're knocking on Austin's own?
Yeah, fuck that.
You're fine.
I'm more of a fastball guy.
Fastball's good. Everclear.
Are they Austin as well?
I'm pretty sure they're Austin.
Eve 6.
I don't know if they're great on Twitter, though.
I think they're British.
Eve 6 is good on Twitter.
Eve 6 is not British.
No, they're definitely American.
All right.
Yeah.
Learn something new.
So that's just like a minor thing that was fun.
Around to a beautiful oblivion.
That's a good song. That's their only one, really.
No, they got nothing but bangers.
Yeah, we should go see a concert.
The entire soundtrack to that snowboarding movie.
Out Cold.
Out Cold. Yeah.
That's a good movie.
I actually just reviewed that movie not too long ago. Shout out to our buddy Kyle Banduho on Big Screen. What is this podcast? Big Screen Sports?
Who could care?
This is a lot. This ain't Patreon, bro.
Yeah, it's Big Screen.
Banduho's catching strays on this.
I'm pretty drunk. That's the only reason I remember. But yeah, we did Out Cold a couple months ago. It's a great podcast. We did Out Cold.
It's a very good movie.
But he is one of the kind of guys that would be like, ew, capitalism.
He probably would.
Yeah.
I love him, but probably.
So 1994 was a marquee year for drinking and diplomacy in Yeltsin's career. Yeltsin shocked officials during a picnic on a boat steaming down the Volga River, by suddenly ordering his border guards to toss his spokesperson into the cold river. So he's drunk as shit and just like, hey, this guy, throw him in the river.
Wait, where was it? Volga goes through Stalingrad. It's a long river, though.
Yeah, I don't know exactly where it was, but the fact that he was saying, hey, throw my spokesperson in the river, I'm tired of him.
Actually, you know what Stalingrad's called now?
What?
Volgograd.
Oh.
Yeah, they changed that after the Soviet Union fell, which is funny, actually, because this, do you remember that Russian chick that hung out with us sometimes?
Yes,
Masha?
I do.
Yeah. Like, she's from Russia, whatever. I remember one time
Sasha.
Masha.
Well, even more Russian.
Anyway, yeah, but I remember one time she was like posting on Instagram, like, back like where my family's from, and it was in Volgograd, and I was like, oh, your family's had a time.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Always from there?
Yeah.
She was not a valley girl.
What?
It was more, this is where my family from.
Yeah, it was more like, to my family's from. But her family was like, many of us have died here.
All of them.
Much blood spilled into the river.
So another incident, officials marking the departure of the last Russian troops from Germany the same year looked on aghast as he stumbled after a champagne lunch, seized the baton from the leader of the military band, and started conducting the parade himself.
Well, he had champagne for lunch.
Yeah, I mean, he did that a lot. That's actually very common. For
like
Yeltsin.
I know, but I'm saying I assume his lunch was champagne.
That's what I'm saying. He did that a lot. He would drink instead of eat.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just what his vibe was. And that's what I'm saying. He's kind of a good hang.
Dude, like the brunch.
I would absolutely party with Boris Yeltsin. Is he still alive?
He died in 2007.
Oh, R.I.P.
Yeah. He wasn't very
how'd you
healthy.
not know that? That's crazy.
But, I mean, all right.
I'm the one learning today.
Yeah, I am.
He's bringing comedic relief to an otherwise insane part of modern history.
He's who the Russian people needed at that time.
A lot of people hate him now because they're like, he was a buffoon. But, like, he was bringing some, like...
Was he their W?
Yes.
In a lot of ways, yeah.
Very much so. Very good.
Well, but here's the thing, though. He's their W without the horrible wars.
Without 9/11.
Well, no, without the invasion of Iraq,
there
right?
was a conflict with Chechnya that I think he was part of.
Yes, but if I'm not...
It's not like the severity and length of the Iraq war.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, I don't know what the Russians were doing, but the Chechens, who now, by the way, are in with the Russians.
Right, and so he was getting those
But
awards.
the Chechens used to commit, like, terror attacks in Russia.
They're like the ones that they sound scary on paper, but they suck at war.
Now.
Yeah, now.
Yeah.
You don't want to invade Chechnya. Look, they're a good home team.
But on the road, their generals get wiped.
I mean, that was the funny... We talked before. That's the funny part of the Ukraine, where they're like, oh, fuck, they're sending in the Chechens.
It's like they're better staying put.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, much like Ukraine.
I don't expect Ukraine to successfully invade another country.
No.
But they're very, very good at defending their country.
That's typically how it goes with war, if you're being invaded.
Which, by the way, this is something I was...
You know who beat the greatest military in the world? Afghanistan.
Like 8 times.
Yeah. Vietnam.
No, Afghanistan's beaten the greatest military. They've beaten the number one team. Like,
oh, yeah.
They're like that college football team that just keeps offing number ones over the years. You know what I mean? Like, they beat the British. They beat the Americans. They beat the Soviets were number 2, but that's still a good win. They beat Alexander the Great, just wouldn't schedule a home and home with him.
No.
Yeah, he's like,
He skipped it. I mean, yeah, it's fucking wild.
Ducked him.
Many are saying they're the Kansas State of countries.
Yeah, they're the K-State, for sure.
Just knocking teams off.
Just Bill Snyder magic, you know? He also grabbed a microphone at the reception of that and just saying out loud tunelessly. No one was willing to stop him, though, because they're like, fuck, he's just like going to just keep going, let him finish.
Yeah. Oh, fuck, sorry. What I was going to say real quick is, I think one of the reasons, there's a lot of countries that can flex on winning cool fights, right?
Sure.
Russia, for example, World War II, I think, which they call like the Patriot War or something weird like that. Russia's a big one, Afghanistan. But like there's certain countries that flex about like winning these wars, but it's mostly defensive wars. And what's one weird thing about America is that like a lot of our wins are offensive wars, which are very hard to win.
Yeah.
Compared to defending your homeland. Like Russia, for example, their two big clout wars are beating Napoleon, beating Hitler, right? Whereas the United States, like World War II that we won, offensive war. Even the U.S. Civil War, we had to win that by attacking.
Yeah,
we didn't
it was
like
ourselves.
Yeah, like we had to go to the South. The Revolutionary War was defensive, that's fine. But like the Mexican-American War, that was an offensive war. Spanish-American War, offensive war. Like the U.S. has won a bizarre amount of offensive wars, and essentially what's happening now in the second half of the 20th century is we're regressing to the mean.
Yeah,
You're saying we need a defensive war.
We're better at defensive wars. So like for example, defensive wars are easier to fight, not that we're better at it. But for example, like the Korean War. Right, that was technically a defensive war, but then we heat checked ourselves.
we went up in there.
We went too offensive. If we had just stopped back at the parallel and been like, "You bitches stay up there,"
The same thing would have happened.
right? But we wouldn't have gone further north and then suffered defeats, and you know what I mean.
Wasn't there like a weird amount of an underreported amount of casualties in Korea?
Korea and Vietnam were bloody wars. I mean, Vietnam is 60,000 American soldiers.
Grace over Korea.
What?
Korea doesn't get enough attention.
You know its nickname,
It's
right?
The Forgotten War.
Forgotten War. Yeah.
I get that.
But your grandpa was in it, right?
Uh-huh. Says best time of his life.
He's playing basketball, right?
He's playing basketball and fixing planes.
Hell yeah.
Didn't know how to fix planes. Just read out of a book. And sending out that he would fix that plane the night of with a flashlight in that book, and he'd send a pilot up the next day.
You know what they do now? You get a link to a private YouTube video to fix a U.S. Army jet. Just like, here's how you do it.
That's hilarious.
That's not true, but it's gonna be.
It's probably just like DARPANet or whatever.
Yeah.
94 too, just to color this in, a lot of these things I'm going to be talking about are during 94. I believe at the time he's actually quelling a coup too in Russia because hardliners are trying to take him out and bring back communist shit.
Yeah. Also, on the other side of that, after the Soviet Union fell, the Russian mafias went bananas.
I mean, yeah, they never stopped. That's why you have Russia at why it's like it is today.
Right.
So that's how we got our hitman boy.
Oh yeah.
What was his name again? I forgot.
I forget too.
That's fine.
Ski ninja assassin.
I don't think it was Skeet.
Ski.
Oh no, it's not that either.
In a trip to the UK, Yeltsin left a party of dignitaries.
There's an episode. Go find it.
You'll find it if you listen to our back catalog, which you should. He left a party of dignitaries, including Irish ministers, waiting awkwardly on the runways of Ireland's Shannon Airport after allegedly being too drunk to depart the plane.
Look, if anyone can understand,
Yeah.
I don't want to hear from the Irish.
They should have been like, oh,
Yeah, they should have like
that's how you fly, right?
They should have upgraded them.
yeah, they should have known. They should have expected that. Not even because he was Boris Yeltsin, because they should just assume that's how everyone flies because they are Irish.
There's another report of him, like, when he does get off the plane, he pisses on the tarmac because he's got to piss. It's like
That's fine, and that's probably normal in Russia.
Yeah. There's no planes with bathrooms in Soviet Russia.
In Russia,
I just think peeing wherever you want.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
there's
it's
no
all snow.
gates. A gate is your toilet.
They showed. I watched some fucking video not that long ago about like some small town in Russia, and this is like still east of the Ural Mountains, or west of the Ural Mountains, but like it was a tiny town, and they were like, "What do you think of America?" And they're like, "America, whatever. Like Russia's the best." And it was like these people that like still had outhouses. Like they didn't look like hillbillies or anything, rednecks, but like they didn't have much indoor plumbing, and they were just like, "Nah, Russia's the best." And I was just like, your town would make West Virginians like disgusted.
Well, that's why Yakov Smirnoff crushes in Branson, Missouri.
Yes, Branson needs to feel better than somebody.
And he moved there, and he's like, "Wow, this is it.
It's the spot.
Big city lights of Branson."
Yeah, a Russian going to Branson is like if you plucked a Babylonian out of Babylon and just brought him to modern day Las Vegas.
Sick.
It's about the same.
Or our guy here to a grocery store.
Yeah.
Seriously though,
Is that going to be your AI painting? Boris Yeltsin shopping.
get a real one of that.
Oh no, I can do it.
I know you can, but
It's fun.
there
I
are
like the
real
AI.
ones.
I like
Okay.
the AI better.
Yeah, let's do the AI.
Yeah.
So on a visit to Chequers Court, which is the country home of the British Prime Minister, Yeltsin rolled up drunk with his own supply of Coca-Cola and black bread, ready to party. I guess he thought they wouldn't be able to have that there.
Yeah.
Like, he probably brought it from America, like a
Just
bottle of
in case.
Coca-Cola, yeah. So according to John Major's wife, Dame Norma, over the weekend, him and his entourage cleared the manor of alcohol, like completely. But while this incident can be chalked up to low supplies of booze or Russians just going hard, it pales in comparison to his exploits in the U.S. in 1994. Dan, you're going to know this one.
Let's go.
So Yeltsin got really drunk one time. He was visiting Bill Clinton,
Mm-hmm.
and he decided to go out into the streets in his underwear and order a pizza in the middle of Washington, D.C. on a diplomatic trip.
Let's fucking go.
So this incident happened during Yeltsin and Clinton's first meeting in Washington in September of 1994. Secret Service agents discovered Yeltsin alone on Pennsylvania Avenue, so right outside the White House.
Right on from it.
Yeah, dead drunk, clad in just his underwear.
Can I ask, though? So was Yeltsin sleeping at the White House?
He was at Blair House.
Okay, because otherwise I was going to say, how did he get out?
No, he was at a different place. He was at Blair House, which
I think that's across the street.
it's very close.
Yeah.
So he's just in his underwear yelling for a taxi. Yeltsin slurred his words in a loud argument with baffled agents. He did not want to go back into Blair House where he was staying. He wanted to get a taxi and go out for a pizza now.
Right.
He was despondent about it. He did not want to listen.
What does despondent mean? He was crying?
Or like he was upset.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'd be funnier if he was like,
I want a pizza.
pizza.
No, he's back in the land of fucking abundance.
Yeah.
He's just like, give me what I want.
Please, I get nothing at home.
When Branch, the person writing the article, asked Clinton how the situation ended, the president shrugged and said, well, he got his pizza.
That's such a clear answer.
They went
Well, he got his pizza, so, you know.
they got him a pizza and brought it back to him. And they were like, please don't do this again. Like, you're a fucking important person here. You can get killed in fucking D.C. right now. It's 94. Like, you're going to die.
He might have just got stabbed in the neck by a random guy.
No, not even knowing who he was. Yeah.
Right, yeah. Just be like,
There was
fat
just,
old white
crime
piece
wasn't
of shit.
great.
Just a crackhead.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the next night, Clinton recalled.
Although, I mean, what do you steal from a guy in his underwear? Right?
His underwear.
Still
That's
that,
true.
bro.
He's got something.
You can trade up for crack.
Yeah.
So the next night, he tries to do it again, eluding security.
What do you tries to do again? Tries to strip down to his underwear, go to the street, and demand a pizza from whoever finds him?
I mean, exactly that. Eluding security, he made his way down the back stairs into the Blair House basement, where a building guard mistook him for a drunken intruder. Yeltsin was
It's
briefly
a fair mistake.
Yeltsin was briefly endangered until converging Russian and American agents sorted out everyone's affiliation.
Is there a Mexican standoff?
Yes.
Over naked Boris Yeltsin?
Yes, in the
Just
basement
screaming for pizza?
in the basement of Blair House. They almost got in a firefight. Like, they were all guns drawn. Like, who the fuck are you? Who the fuck? They're like, wait, what? And like, they all realized the
This
guy.
fat old Boris Yeltsin is pissing his pants. He's like, Dominos. Dominos.
Clinton thought this incident, although contained within the Blair House, exposed even greater risk than the original pizza quest, because obviously you could have fucking agents getting strays.
Yeah.
So they really had to press him to not do any more things like that. And
What, drink alcohol?
just stay inside, stay home.
Yeah.
Bring the pizza to you first.
Here's the thing that's funny, though, too, by the way. This man doesn't even realize that you can get pizza delivered to your house because
No.
that is science fiction to him.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how many pizza places are going to roll up to Blair. I guess they would.
They would.
Yeah, they would for sure. So-
Easily. You
yeah,
just
there's a
give the
gate.
address.
There's a gate.
The dumb pizza boy shows up. There's security there, and you just like, oh, do I give it to you because you're security? And they're like, yeah, and we'll take it in.
Yeah, we'll pay
Here's
you.
the fucking money.
Yeah. Later on, another American story. In 1995, a press conference was held in Hyde Park, New York, between Clinton and Yeltsin. Yeltsin greeted Clinton with the weirdest but broiest gift possible. This is like the sweetest and most endearing thing. Yeltsin gives Clinton a Russian hockey jersey that says Clinton 96 on it.
Sick.
Yeah, and he's like,
By the way, great ammo for the Republicans.
yeah, for sure.
Not that it worked.
No.
but
Are you saying
great.
Clinton, Russian asset?
Yeah. Haven't the Clintons always been a Russian asset?
Ooh, no. I don't think they've ever been accused of that.
Probably not.
No.
Yeah.
But
They're their own assets.
the better part, this is a 2-part gift because it's a gift of friendship, right? Yeltsin got a matching jersey that said Yeltsin 96.
Oh.
So they could bro out together.
And he was like really insistent that Bill Clinton wear it. And Bill Clinton's like, I can't wear this jersey, dude.
Right.
Like,
Bad luck. That's
Yeah.
Bob. That's a gift to Bob Dole.
Yeah, for sure. And Yeltsin was a little bummed out that Clinton wouldn't wear it. Like, he was just like drunk thinking about like, what can I get Bill? What can I get him? It's like Russian hockey jersey. Hell yeah.
Well, it wasn't even USSR though, right? It was just Rus, probably RUS or something.
Yeah, just wear the jersey, man.
Just wear the jersey.
During this conference, Yeltsin.
Like, what fucking boner, honestly, is like, that's a mistake. It just shows no allegiance to America. Blah, blah. It's a fucking guy being like, here's your president. Like, if someone.
I'm sorry, Rush Limbaugh would have said that exactly.
Yes.
Neil Bortz would have torn into him.
They would have been like, this shows the decline of America. It's just some fucking guy.
Oh, that's tan suit shit, for sure. But
it's just a fucking guy wearing a present from his idiot friend that he doesn't want.
But he wears it.
But he's just his idiot friend gave him a present.
Clinton kind of covers for Yeltsin a lot. I think they were hanging out and having a good old time, like behind closed doors.
What do you mean by that?
So Yeltsin got so sloshed on white wine and champagne during the actual press conference part that his aides had to cut him off because he was getting a little too free and loose with his words. Apparently, after being cut off, he went on a riff. He's pissed. And he just started calling the U.S. press a disaster, like insulting all the press people there. Because obviously, like, he's like, you guys paint us in a bad light. Fuck you. And, like, Bill Clinton's just sitting there. There's, like, pictures and shit of it. He just awkwardly, like, starts cracking. He pulls a Kamala Harris, basically.
Yeah.
Where he's just, oh, my God, Yeltsin, you're crazy, dude.
I'll say whatever. As a joker.
Yeah, I think Clinton was probably also drunk. He made diplomats drink with him, too. So he probably got Clinton a little loose as well. But Clinton was just like, yeah, I had to cover for him.
Do you think he had a nickname for him? Kind of like how Trump just kept calling Un Rocket Man.
Who, Clinton?
Clinton had a name for Yeltsin, or Yeltsin had a name for Clinton?
Both.
Yeltsin, who knows? But is it like that? Is it like that terrible scene in Love Actually, where Hugh Grant stands up to the American president?
I've never seen Love Actually, so I wouldn't know.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And he's like, Great Britain's done a lot of things. We've given the world David Beckham's left foot. For that matter, David Beckham's right foot. And America needs to be a better partner. And it's like this big moment for him. And Billy Bob Thornton's the American president. And he's clearly like some combo of Clinton and Bush. Yeah. Like he's folksy like Bush.
That's actually, that would be, if you merged George W. Bush and Bill Clinton, it would be Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah. He's folksy and dumb like Bush, kind of, but like not dumb. He's Southern like Bush, but like sleazy and like Clinton, and he like makes out with the secretary that Hugh Grant wants to bang. Because it's not sleazy when Hugh Grant does it.
Right.
It's only sleazy when Billy Bob Thornton does it.
Yeah, because he's a president.
Hugh Grant's the Prime Minister of England.
Oh.
Right. So it's not.
Oh, I see. I've very much not seen Love Actually. I know nothing about that movie.
It's a good movie.
I'll have to check it out.
Nah, you don't have to.
It's a good movie. Do you care about thinking?
You and your wife like rom-coms?
We make love to Love Actually. We make love once a year, and it's on Christmas Eve.
And it's to Love Actually.
Love Actually plays. Neither of us orgasm.
That's not true.
The only thing that finishes is the movie.
Oh, well, I get that. Okay, you don't orgasm, so that's why there's no. But that's not true, because I know that the other one is a fucking Cinco baby.
No, I mean, it's both from just like pre-cum. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't fully cum, but like just a little bit of my sperm got out in the pre-cum.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. I've never cum.
Just only pre.
Well, not with my wife. Every other woman, yes. And she'll never hear that.
And that's how you knew she was the one.
Yeah.
Oh,
She's never made you come.
Katie did say she was going to tell Courtney about the gun. When you're like, I should just blow my brains out. She's like, I'm going to tell Courtney about that.
And Rob's getting divorced.
No, because she's telling Courtney to buy a gun to have.
Yeah, so she's just, that's the next level. It's
yeah.
Like, okay, well, here it is for your scheduled 2:00 suicide.
funny story about Brits standing up to Americans. I had a buddy that was overseas for bank work or something, and they were like, Americans, they just need these guns all the time. You guys are so scared of everything. He's like, you can thank your king for that. It's like, yeah, we have them because of you.
Yeah.
But
what
anyway.
could have possibly started that?
Yeah.
What was the first thing you did when we started revolting? Tried to take the guns?
Oh, the things?
The guns is
Yeah.
what you tried to take?
Yeah, we're going to keep that.
That's weird.
Clinton talked also a lot about how Yeltsin would call him late at night drunk. He just drunk dials, bro.
On the red phone?
Yeah. Bill!
He's like not answering. He's like, tell him we sent nuke.
Get him on phone.
Nuke in air. Tell him to answer now.
He wouldn't be like that, actually. Yeltsin has a really good nuke story coming up.
Good Lord. What does this guy not fucking do?
So he called him drunk in the middle of the night and suggested an idea for a new type of superpower summit. He wanted like all the countries to get together. He's like, bro, it's going to be sick. We'll get like Canada and you, and it'll all be on a nuclear submarine.
Yeah, I guess how was he?
What? It's be on a submarine?
He's like, we got to hold it on a nuclear submarine.
Underwater?
I'm doubting it's
It's the
underwater.
fucking Fortress of Truth, or what is the fucking Justice League?
So was he always like this, or was this after he took power? Because
It got worse for sure.
why would they put this man in charge of anything?
People loved him. He was fun.
Again, just
I
W.
get that.
He's fun, Uncle Boris,
the
baby.
amiable idiot kind of thing.
I think we need that to bring the country together.
Oh my God, yes.
First off, the current president is an amiable idiot.
No, but he's not fun.
He's not fun.
I disagree. I like him a
It's-
lot
it's
in terms
sad.
of like just funness.
I do. I think I said this.
I guess he's too old now, maybe, but Biden, just go toss politics out for a moment. Just remember the most famous Biden impression on SNL. It was Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah,
Just go back and watch Jason Sudeikis playing Biden.
talking about corn pop.
Jason
That's who
Sudeikis
Biden is.
Is fun. Biden's really never been
Biden,
fun.
I've said this on the show before, has the energy of like QB1 on a very terrible small Christian boys football team that's going up against the inner city school. It's like, come on, guys. We could do this. It's like, you've thrown 4 picks, bro.
He was okay on Parks and Rec.
He was on. I forgot about that. And Leslie wanted to fuck him.
Yeah.
That was like her whole thing.
Well, he used to be a silver fox. Now he's just too old.
He's
too old now. In 1996, during his re-election campaign, cameras also showed him energetically twisting on stage to rock music. People loved that. Later emerged
He was doing the twist.
Yeah, he was dancing on camera.
Okay.
He wasn't a stiff, crazy fucking Bolshevik or like Soviet guy, you know. So later emerged that he'd
Was he a larger fella?
He's a big guy.
Fat guy.
He's big.
Very round.
He looks like a guy that drinks constantly.
Rotund, yeah.
Yeah. It emerges that he had suffered a heart attack several days earlier before doing the twist, so that actually made it even better. People were like, "Oh, he had a heart attack and he's dancing."
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he seems good to me. He seems healthy as fuck.
He actually he had so many heart attacks and health scares during his tenure.
What? How many heart attacks did he have?
Like a couple. It was more than 2. That multiple.
He actually died multiple times, but then he just
What is
woke
bad?
back up.
What we shit on Dick Cheney for having like 1 over the course of 8 years,
Oh yeah. No,
and he was the vice president.
right.
Well, we shit on Dick Cheney for a lot of things.
Yeah, it's not just the heart attacks.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is we shit on his heart a lot, and he had 1.
He's Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna live forever.
Yeah, so multiple countries had contingency plans for if he dropped dead during his visits. The UK was exceptionally prepared and had co-signed statements already ready from his wife just in case he kicked the bucket
To make sure they didn't think they assassinated him.
in order to ensure he wasn't taken out while on foreign soil. They
Yeah.
were that worried about it. They were
That's
like,
because he's a fucking nightmare.
yeah.
Yeah, I love this guy.
But much like the drunkest guy who's also the life of the party, his alcoholism was as much of an endearing quality as it was a curse. Sometimes he would resort to homespun anecdotes and Russians' fondness for vodka. Big campaign thing for him was that, like, one of his biggest campaign things that won him favor was that he wouldn't raise the price of vodka. That, like,
They love vodka.
yeah, he was
Hell
like,
yeah.
They love vodka.
he was like, people.
So
Go ahead.
he's doing all this, and I imagine Putin's just kind of like in the background, just kind of pulling the strings now.
Yeah,
To like kind of force his way into power.
yeah, for sure. It's starting. I don't have the timeline exactly, but there's an apartment building bombing that kind of led to Putin
Yeah. The people wanted more of a hardline situation, and they
Yeah.
blamed it on the Chechens, I believe,
I'm pretty sure you're right. Yeah.
because the Chechens were actually. It might have been the Chechens, but a lot of people think it was
Inside job.
an inside job,
Yeah.
which it probably was. Let's be honest.
Remember the Maine.
If anyone's gonna
Yeah.
kill their own people, it's the fucking Russians.
They still have car bombs with pretty high up dignitaries and shit right now. They just had one a couple months ago
Dude,
because someone wasn't doing enough for the Ukraine war.
They're getting so waxed in Ukraine that I'm legitimately waiting for them to fake a terrorist attack in Russia, blame it on Ukraine,
blast them to hell.
But here's the thing
That's
weird.
not believable. You got to blame it on the Serbs.
Yeah, kind of. I actually think they're kind of fucked because I don't think people would believe it at this point.
No,
I don't think people could.
It would have been better to use it to justify it off
the
bat.
war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. But
I don't think anyone would buy it at this point.
No. At this point, it's like 97. He's starting to get really out of it.
Yeah.
So they're starting to use excuses for him too. So they blame fatigue for gaffe that Yeltsin does when he startled listeners in Sweden with a dramatic pledge to cut Russia's nuclear arsenal and seek a total world ban. Everyone's like, shut the fuck up, dude. Stop talking.
We need these nukes.
Yeah,
it's the only thing that keeps us relevant at this point.
They were like, yeah, he made the comment after a long day of meetings. He was just exacerbated. His alcoholism worsened to the point where he was frequently stumbling and falling over. He also exhibited inappropriate behavior on camera, such as when not just playing spoons and shit on people's heads.
Right.
He pinched a couple female secretaries in front of reporters, so he's playing a little grab ass.
In what country?
Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but like it was frowned
When you
upon.
brought up Clinton, I was like, let's see those Epstein flight logs.
Yeah. Yeltsin's just like on the plane, like he's like to the camera, like like
Yeah, he basically
signs of the eye, or no, there's no. Oh yeah, he signs the eye and Boris with a heart on the fucking flight log. He's just like.
They get to the island, he just passes out on the beach.
Yeah, he
he's
doesn't
actually-
make it.
he's guilty
he
of
would've-
nothing.
He would have molested the kids, but he can't. He doesn't make it.
No, he didn't even know there was kids on there. They were just like, yo, get on this plane. He's drunk the whole time.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
He doesn't know. But yeah, so all of this stuff starts happening. He starts falling down a lot, slurring his words and speeches. He's falling out of favor pretty quick. And it's very clear that he's doing this because he's not successfully getting these big capitalistic ideas pushed through at the speed that people are expecting them to.
Why isn't he getting pushed through?
Well, I mean, it's just like it's not working successfully. There's a lot of hardline opposition still and things like that. Things are taking time, and Russia's still recovering after a long time.
I understand they're in like a horrific recession, but it's hilarious to me. There are people in the government that were like, "No,
Yeah.
it could still work."
No.
What? No.
Yeah.
Communism could still work. You don't know.
One of the things that got him elected too, or reelected, was I didn't even mention this in the writing, but there was a coup attempt in the mid-90s. They tried to get rid of him. He got up on the opposing side's tank that they had. They had tanks and shit.
Sick.
He got on top of it, got on the barrel, straddled it, and read a speech just saying, like, fuck this shit. We're going forward. It's time to be better. Like, we are not doing this shit anymore. People lost their minds. Like, he was very loved.
Those were the days.
But when you say shit like that and you have that kind of bravado, you have to be able to actually implement your vision. And he was so weighed down by all of this pressure to do that, and he kept drinking more and more. It was very clear he was never going to get it done.
And that specific day, he had the perfect amount of buzz.
Yeah, he was like 4 or 5 vodkas in.
He was good to go.
Yeah, it was before he was like pissing himself drunk. But before you dismiss Boris Yeltsin as a bumbling fool, which we don't here at this podcast, but
I don't at all.
Yeah, he played a significant role in the downfall of Soviet communism and the transition from the USSR to the Russian Federation very peacefully. He also helped save the planet from accidental nuclear Armageddon.
Okay.
So on January 25th, 1995, U.S. and Norwegian scientists launched a research rocket over the northwestern coast of Norway near the Russian border. Part of the rocket's trajectory was over a route that the Russians knew would be taken by any inbound U.S. nuclear strike. Both U.S. and Norwegian authorities had done what they were supposed to, notify Russian radar authorities and others of the missile launch. The other operators in Russia, though, failed to notify high command in the military. So, incompetence, as per usual.
As per you fucking usual.
What the Russian defense authorities saw on their screens looked awfully like what a U.S. missile would look like if it was in a high trajectory mode, meaning that they were doing a ICBM attack.
Right.
Designed to explode in the atmosphere, releasing an electromagnetic pulse to destroy Moscow's grid and begin the actual first strike.
Right.
you launch the EMP, take out everything, then you start bombing.
Because you can't shoot out maybe other.
Yeah.
You certainly can't escape.
So they only had minutes to react to this. They went to Yeltsin and notified him of the situation. He was given the Russian version of the nuclear football, which was basically a briefcase with the appropriate launch codes inside, carried by an agent with it handcuffed to his wrist.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we do that the same way here, where we just have a guy holding it the whole time.
I think it's somewhat similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, he cut his hand off, though.
Actually, did you ever hear, there is one version of it where, I forget which president suggested it, but it was like, if you want to launch a nuclear code, it wasn't a president, but someone suggested it to the president to be like, here's how serious it is to nuke somebody. We have to have someone who has the nuclear codes stored in their heart. And the only way you can get it is to kill that man and cut his heart out.
Jesus.
To understand how serious it is.
Yeah. I mean,
That seems appropriate.
it kind of is. Like, because at this point, if anyone did it, it's on.
Yeah. Oh, there's also a funny...
It's not on, it's over.
Yeah, it's like, it's on for about 5 minutes.
Depends on who gets nuked. I actually don't think anyone's capable of nuking the United States.
Unless everyone did it.
No. I think we're pretty good to go.
Unless we did it ourselves.
Star Wars, baby.
Inside job.
Everything's an inside job.
All Yeltsin had to do...
Because we're all on Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Humans did it. All Yeltsin had to do was issue the codes and the world would effectively end at this time. He didn't. He believed, while his generals didn't, that a mistake had been made.
Why would his generals not believe? Who's nuking Russia in 95? What fucking possible
Yeah, remember,
threat do they pose?
They're weak.
they're
Gotta take
military.
advantage.
They're military, there's hardliners.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
Warhawks.
That's the thing people...
Yeah.
I've been reading this a lot, and I don't know if it's the type of thing where it's like, Ron DeSantis and Glenn Youngkin are worse than Trump, or if it's like the type of thing where it's actually real, but there are a lot of people that are like, you think Putin's bad. Wait till you meet the real Russian hardliners.
Yeah.
And I don't understand. I don't know if that's like you thought Trump was bad, or if it's like he is crazy, but there are way crazier people in there.
Oh, there's got to be. There's always a way more intense zealot than you can possibly imagine.
That's fair, but I don't know if the type of thing was like, obviously, Mike Lindell's an insane person, but he's never going to run the United States. What I'm wondering, what I'm wondering is if are they being like hyperbolic, or is there a Russian Mike Lindell that could succeed Putin?
Yeah,
Is there a Russian My Pillow guy?
I do remember when it came out that he had like cancer. They were kind of going through the list, and they all seemed bad.
It's rare that a Russian sounds good to me.
Yeah. I mean, especially when you have like a mafia ocracy,
Oligarchy.
kleptocracy.
Right.
Yeah. A corrupt oligarchy, basically. Yeah. It's never going to be good. Those people are going to try and secure their assets and just take over and procure more. I mean, like, that's what a lot of the Ukraine stuff is. Obviously, there's symbolic stuff for Putin specifically, but a lot of these guys that are higher up in the oligarchy are just like, we need more shit. We got to.
They don't give a fuck about the history of Russia, which I think Putin does.
Putin does, yeah. He's an old school
czar.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the funniest part when people accuse.
Because he doesn't want to be Soviet.
Yeah, he doesn't care about communism.
'Cause
He probably thinks communism is gay.
Because he believes in God.
Yeah, he likes Tsarism. He's a Tsarist.
Yeah, I mean, great line from Yeltsin in The Crown. The stories of old Russia don't start with once upon a time. They start with in the good days of the Tsars.
Right.
Like it's like deep in their heart, a lot of Russians want just a monarchy again.
Yeah.
A lot of Americans want that too.
Oh, it's a lot of them do. A lot of small government Americans want a king. Nuts.
Yeah.
Nuts.
They want Caesar and they want Augustus, but they forget who came directly after that.
Yeah.
Caligula, Nero,
Actually,
blah, blah, blah.
deeper tangent real
weird.
quick,
It's
too.
weird.
There's almost a weird argument to be made that there could be world peace if if you had a related royal family, like monitoring the entire world basically on top of it.
Oh, we had that.
We had that. What happened? World War I.
Yeah.
They all wanted to be the big one. They got in a family feud.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't work.
Yeah, Steve Harvey
what's
wasn't
crazy
around.
to me, though, is that a family
Come
fought.
on, man.
Steve Harvey would have solved everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A family fought. Huh.
Yeah.
A bunch of family members would fight each other?
Yeah. And quarrel over
What? Petty
Petty
shit?
bullshit.
It didn't matter?
Yeah. And they get to play meat chess against each other.
Never a family would do that.
But at the end of the day, in the last days of his presidency in 1999, what do you think his approval rating was?
I'm going to go in the 80s.
2%.
Oh.
2?
2. He had just biffed it too many times.
Had the apartment bombing already happened?
I think so, actually,
Okay,
at this
fair
point,
enough.
yeah. Yeltsin became increasingly erratic, hiring and firing ministers almost daily. He was also getting to that point. He was very, I'm sure he's going through DTs.
Going bananas, yeah. And yeah.
When he finally resigned on the last day of the year in 1999, the relatively unknown figure he had appointed as his successor was the last man standing in the game of succession musical chairs. That man was Vladimir Putin, and he's still in charge today.
Shit, do you think he was afraid of Y2K?
Yeah, he's
Yeltsin was like, I
he's
gotta
like,
get out of here, man.
You handle this, Putin.
Yeah.
I'm done. You can handle the nukes launching.
Well, that's my time on Boris Yeltsin today. What'd you guys learn?
We need more world leaders that are just publicly intoxicated.
More fun public leaders?
Yeah, I think we're getting a little too serious with our politics.
I think so, too.
I think we need to invite more hostile world leaders to our grocery stores.
You're better than us?
Oon.
Yeah.
Get over here, Owen.
You think you're your culture?
Yeah.
Your way of doing business? Come to this mediocre grocery store in a random suburb.
Who knows about that, though?
Yeah, but we would solve the North Korea issue if we just got them courtside tickets to the Bulls.
You got to bring Rodman back, though, for the game.
They can sit together.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's probably true.
It's like, yo, dude.
He won't go back. Like, we'll give you season tickets.
He loved the Bulls too, undid.
Love the Bulls.
According to his Swiss fucking boarding school roommates, he had like bull shit all over his rooms. Stuff
I
like
mean,
that.
Bulls were like the
Yeah,
shit,
they're hot.
though.
They're hot. I'll tell you what I learned.
Do you think he looks at Michael Jordan as an equal? Mm-hmm.
It's still
No, beneath.
I think he probably looks at Jordan.
He looks down on Jordan.
I don't think he does.
I think he does.
Maybe the one man.
Jordan's done a lot. Has he run a country?
Yeah. Air Jordan?
No.
I bet the company's bigger than...
I assume
The GDP
Jordan.
is
I
definitely
assume
higher.
Jordan, by the way, is a subsidiary of Nike still, right?
Mm-hmm.
That probably alone makes more money than North Korea.
Have you seen the thing where they thought, oh yeah, Jordan will make us a few million over 5 years? It's it makes $1 million every fucking
Oh, he was smart about
day or something like that.
Yeah.
It's insane. Yeah,
it.
but
He wasn't like Iverson. Just blowing all of it.
Yeah.
yeah. He's
It's one of the best shoes ever, though.
It is. I mean, Rob is literally wearing a pair of Jordans right now.
No, I meant Iverson.
Oh,
I am wearing
Iverson
Jordans.
shoes. I don't know what those look like. I've never seen
Questions. You never saw the answer? Answer threes. It's the zipper one.
them. Oh, I have seen those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are pretty sweet.
Extremely 90s.
Who's Hitler, boys?
Putin.
Putin.
Just because he's in it somehow.
Kinda. I mean, communism.
Communism, I would definitely say. Especially we mentioned how the Romanovs were killed.
Fucking Secret Service agents wouldn't let him get a pizza pie.
No, he got his pizza.
They just
Yeah,
didn't want him
but-
in the street naked.
Yeah.
He had briefs on.
Sounds like Hitler to me.
You would have done that to many of your fraternity brothers. Be like, bro, come inside. The pizza's on the way. Let's just come inside. I know you want to sit on the fucking bench outside. Just come back into the fraternity house.
You don't want an MIP.
You're going to get us on probation.
Yeah.
You might get MIP. Just come inside. The pizza's on the way. You've done that probably.
No, I was the guy on the bench.
Getting that pizza. Dan would be the
That's
naked
fair.
guy getting the pizza.
Yeah, I would say a system of government is the fucking Hitler today, to be honest. Like,
Communism,
god damn.
yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, if you ever want a really just horrifying death recounting, look at how the Romanovs were killed.
Dude.
It is a nightmare.
You know who my heart breaks for the most, though? Is just that rich woman who was like, it's meat day.
God.
Meat
dude.
day, lady. That's brutal.
It's meat day. Guys, come on. There's so
Again,
much. No one's gotten here
There's
yet.
there's no greater miracle on earth than a fucking American grocery store.
I mean, think about, we have open refrigerators constantly running in our supermarkets.
It's
too.
insane.
Like the amount of power it takes to have a cold display, you don't want to know.
Fucking
it's
insane.
What would you do for a Klondike bar? Not much, but they would.
Yeah,
Yeah.
murder for
They
it.
would do a lot.
Well, That's our show, y'all. Hope you enjoyed it. Please be sure, if you haven't yet, to review our show wherever you're listening to the podcast. Please check out our Patreon. I didn't mention that at
Patreon.com/softcore history. Extra episode every week. Drops Wednesday.
What did we talk about this week, Rob?
Well,
Or Dan? Sorry.
I hosted and we talked about the 1930 World Cup.
It was very organized.
Super organized. You would never believe it.
A lot
One of the
different
most.
mishaps.
Yeah.
Some riots, some fighting.
Just some good old time.
If you liked our 1904 Olympic episode, which was on the main feed, you will
check that out.
Certainly enjoy this one.
Yeah.
Go over to softcorehistory.com. Patreon subscribers get an extra 15% off, so that's another reason why.
There's also daily blogs on the Patreon.
Yep. And
Monday through Friday.
Is it too late for them to get in on the raffle now?
Nope.
No, you can still get in. Or although, did we cut it off at December? Whatever. If you sign up for December for the Patreon, you are still a patron in January.
If you sign up if you sign up in December and your fucking card clears,
Yeah.
you will be eligible for the pot on Jan 1st.
Yep. So
we'll pick a name though probably before that.
probably pick a name around Christmas.
Yeah, probably around the.
Make it a true raffle.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's our time. For Rob Fox and Dan Regester, I'm Jake Goldman.
You just got soft served.